All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to another deep dive. We're tackling a pretty big topic today,
Yeah.
one that's honestly evolving as we speak.
Yeah.
It's all about sustainability, but not just in the way you might hear it every day. We're
Mm-mm.
going beyond buzzwords and
Mhm.
really getting into how the UN is approaching this whole idea of building a future that actually works for everyone. Specifically, we're diving deep into the work of the Beyond Lab at the UN.
Okay.
Now, picture this for a second. You're stepping into this like super cool space at the UN in Geneva, and it's buzzing with energy. People are brainstorming, collaborating. There's this feeling that, yeah, we can tackle these huge global challenges. That's the vibe of the Beyond Lab.
Mhm.
But here's the thing. It wasn't always called that.
Right.
It actually started as the SDG Lab.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about that transition? Like what prompted the name change?
Yeah, so it's more than just a name change.
Hmm.
It really reflects a shift in their approach to, all things sustainability. The SDG Lab, it was very much focused on, achieving the sustainable development goals by 2030.
Right. Hitting those targets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very deadline driven. But they kind of realized that achieving sustainability by a certain date, that's not the end game, right? It's like, you cram for a test, you pass.
You get that A.
Yeah, but did you actually learn anything?
Right.
So the Beyond Lab, it's about acknowledging that. Sustainability is more of a journey, not this destination. It's a constant evolution.
Okay, so it's less about checking boxes,
Totally.
more about like a mindset shift.
Yeah, exactly.
So then where does this idea of intergenerational equity come in? Because I feel like that's a pretty core part of their new approach.
Yeah, so that's a big one. Basically, it means thinking about the long game,
Okay.
What kind of world are we leaving for, like future generations?
Right, not just our kids, but like way down the line.
Exactly. It's like, if you're going camping, you wouldn't just leave your trash all over the place.
Oh, for sure not.
Right, like expecting the next group to clean it up. It's the same idea, but applied to the whole planet.
Gotcha. So we're not just borrowing from the future.
Right.
We're making sure they actually have something left to borrow.
Exactly. We don't want to burden them with
Yeah.
problems we created.
Okay, so less trashing the campsite, more leaving it better than we found it.
Yes.
I like that analogy. But how does the Beyond Lab actually go about putting these ideas into action? Because it's one thing to talk about intergenerational equity, but it's another to actually, make it happen.
Totally. So they've become this hub for what they call social innovation at UN Geneva.
So it's like they're not just a think tank. They're actually building and designing solutions.
Exactly.
What are some examples of those solutions?
Well, one that's really interesting is this. What's next series?
What's next series? Okay, tell me more.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They're basically trying to anticipate those future challenges and opportunities.
Like looking into a crystal ball.
Kind of, yeah. But they're not just focusing on the obvious things. They're looking beyond typical sustainability issues.
So what if robots take over the world? That kind of thing.
Well, maybe not that extreme, but, it's about considering factors that might seem totally unrelated at first.
Okay, so thinking outside the box.
Yeah, thinking outside the box.
Then there's this Beyond GDP initiative, which honestly I'm really intrigued by.
Yeah, that one's a game changer. They're challenging this idea that economic growth is like the only measure of progress.
Right, because GDP, it's not always the best indicator of like actual well-being.
It's like a country could have a booming economy, but if its people are, unhappy or the environment is trashed, is it really successful?
No, not really.
So they're pushing for these alternative measures that actually focus on well-being, social connection.
Like what if we measured our progress based on how happy people are?
Exactly.
Or how healthy our ecosystems are?
Yeah, that's the idea. Looking beyond just the dollars and cents.
Okay, I'm really digging this. It's like we're finally starting to acknowledge that there's more to life than just, making money.
Right. It's about quality of life for everyone.
For everyone. Now, I know you mentioned another initiative, the Futures Balance Framework, and that one sounds pretty intense.
It is. It's a really practical tool, though. It helps decision makers like, governments, businesses, to understand the potential debt they might be creating for future generations.
Debt. Okay. So not just like financial debt.
No, it's more like a debt to the future in terms of environmental damage, social inequities, things like that.
So it's like if a city is planning to build a new highway, this framework could help them see,
exactly.
Okay, what are the long-term environmental costs?
Okay.
And then weigh that against the immediate benefits.
Right. So it helps them make more informed, balanced decisions.
I see. So it's kind of like bringing that long-term perspective into the equation,
Yeah, exactly.
which honestly we need a lot more of. Okay, now I have to ask about the Hope Project.
Yeah, that one's pretty unique because how do you turn hope into a tool for, building a better future?
Well, it's not about being naive. It's about understanding that hope can actually motivate action,
Okay.
especially when faced with these huge challenges.
Like the climate crisis, for example.
Yeah, that's a big one. It can feel so overwhelming. But the Hope Project, it explores how to foster a sense of hope, a belief that we can make a difference.
So it's not just about feeling good, it's about channeling that feeling into action.
Exactly.
Because yeah, the future might be uncertain, but we can still shape it, right?
We definitely can. It's about taking action.
And finally, we have to talk about the Department of the Possible.
Now, that's a cool name.
Right.
Sounds like something out of like a Marvel movie.
I know, but it's actually a response to this need to stay ahead of the curve in a world that's changing so fast.
So it's like their internal think tank almost?
Yeah, they're partnering with groups like UN Global Pulse,
Okay.
UN Innovation Network,
Yeah.
to foster this culture of, constant learning, creative problem solving.
So they're basically embracing change
Totally.
and trying to figure out how to navigate it.
Exactly.
I think what's really striking of the Beyond Lab is that they've shifted from this like checklist mentality
Mm.
to a much more holistic view of sustainability.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about hitting targets. It's about fundamentally changing the way we think about the future.
Right. And that's a huge shift. It makes you think, what are those debts we're creating?
Yeah.
Even in small ways. What can we do to build a world
Mm.
that's more balanced, more equitable?
All of us now and in the future.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's our deep dive into the Beyond Lab. I hope you found it as fascinating as I did. And if you want to learn more, definitely check out their website. There's a ton of information there about all the amazing work they're doing. And hey, maybe this even sparks some ideas for you about how you can contribute to building a better future. So until next time, keep thinking, keep learning, and let's create that future together.